America should be the land of opportunity or the land of entitlement. Federal spending under President Obama is now nearly a quarter of our gross domestic product. Unemployment has been stuck at over 8% for nearly 3 years. On the current course, entitlement programs could cost America more than $1 trillion a year before the decade is out. So let's debate what Mitt Romney is talking about. Simon Rosenberg is the director of the think tank NDN and a former campaign advisor for President Clinton. Also joining me, David Webb, host of The David Webb Show on Sirius XM's Patriot Channel and co-founder of Tea Party 365. Gentlemen, thanks for being here.
Hi, Allison.
Good to be here,
All right,
Allison.
let me read you both and our view some of what Mitt Romney said today in this op-ed. He says, over the past 3 years, Barack Obama has been replacing our merit-based society with an entitlement society. The federal government has insinuated itself more and more deeply into healthcare, finance, energy, industry, the environment, and labor. With the growth of government has come an inevitable contraction of the private sphere. Simon, let me start with you. Do you think, as Romney does, that big government is getting in the way of opportunity?
I think Mitt Romney is going to have to do an awful lot better than this if he wants to be the president a year from now. I mean, the problems in the American economy started when George Bush and the Republicans were in office back in the last decade. We had the housing collapse, the big global financial meltdown, the recession, and all the major struggle that we're having with the American economy now happened then. It didn't happen under Barack Obama. And so when we had low taxes, low regulation is when everything went to hell back 5 years ago. So he doesn't really explain that. And until he can explain why it is things went bad under the last regime, he's just not going to have an argument that's credible to the American people.
Okay, David, you heard Simon there. We had low taxes, low regulation, Simon says, and things went haywire.
Right, and if we could say that all the problems started day one of the Bush administration, his argument might have validity. It doesn't. The reality is we've had decades of bad behavior when it came to our federal debt, when it came to how government operated at the federal level. That has led us to this. Now, Bush did his fair share. So did the Pelosi Progressive Congress. They spent $5 trillion. Barack Obama spent $4 trillion. We have a debt of $15 trillion projected to grow by another $15 trillion over the next 10 years or so. And look, Barack Obama, by his policies, is a big government borrow and spend. That has never been the success of America. We have had opportunity. Capitalism, we need to enforce regulations, make sure the bad actors don't get away with it. But we also need to unleash the American economy, the rugged individualism that made this country what it is. And whether that's technology, finance, combined with manufacturing, better trade policies, Mitt Romney's right. We need to get back to foundation principles, and he states it very clearly in this op-ed, and we see the failures in Europe that point the other direction.
And Simon, I mean, isn't just the heart of the matter, do you think that government is too big?
I don't think that's the heart of the matter. I think what the American people want are people working together to solve these enormous problems that we have. We want government, we want all the players on the field. We want government working with business. We want the federal government working with local communities. We want our government working with foreign governments to create more opportunity for American workers here. This is a false choice. I mean, we have to have all the Americans on the playing field together working to create a better economy, a better future for the country. And I think this is sort of an early opening salvo in an early part of the presidential campaign. If Mitt Romney gets into the presidency next year, he's going to have a rough year in 2012.
You know, the problem here we have is, Simon, you're stuck in just what government has to do. America has never been a success because of government. It has been a success because we had a government that let the free market work. And when the free market works, it's not burdened by Dodd-Frank, financial regulatory reform, $787 billion of stimulus, attempts to continue to create shovel-ready jobs that don't exist. Government cannot create wealth in any economy anywhere in the world. It certainly will not work here. We can't borrow 40 cents on the dollar from China. We can't borrow our way to getting out of this financial mess we're in.
Simon, go ahead, respond to that.
I just think it's, I mean, of course, government is significantly involved in creating wealth for Americans. All the major investment that went into creating the Internet was government-funded.
No, it wasn't.
Work. All the work that's creating, all the work going into creating our American military, which is creating peace and security and allowing
Military
global
doesn't
trade
develop
routes to take
GDP,
place
it's a
is
different economic
government
model.
funded work. This
Simon, you're
idea
selling
that the free
Barack
market
Obama's
operates
talking points.
outside of the government is silly. These work together hand in hand to create opportunity for working people. Schools give people the knowledge they need to compete. That's government funding. It's both. Both have to work in order for this to work.
It's not a government funding, but he has billions in the bank even after he's died. His company did well. There was no government. That is one example of innovation in America that has grown our economy, hired tens of thousands of people, and provided income and better technology for the world.
All right.
Allison, I just want to finish by saying I think that most Americans think that the job creators are them. That they are the people that create the jobs in the United States, not a handful of very wealthy people. And this is where the Republican Party has missed the mark completely in this election.
Simon? Which one is it? Government or the people?
It's not a choice. It's both together. It's both and. It's not either or. It's both and.
How does government create wealth is a question Americans are going to be asking themselves. It's failed under Obama. Our debt keeps growing. That's the fact.
Yeah, I keep trying to end this, but you keep saying provocative, interesting things, and then I get caught up in listening. So, Simon,
Thanks a lot, Allison.
David Webb, great to see you guys. Thanks for coming in.